Hi everyone, this is Shannon Shy. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with Shannon about OCD recovery. Thank you everyone for the questions. I will get to them in due time. And thank you for the compliments about this video series Q&A. It's a lot of fun to do it. So today's question from Anonymous. Hi Shannon, if you can help with this, finger pointing down towards the question. How to not be trapped by OCD? I noticed that if I begin to analyze the situation, I'm in the trap. How to quickly classify the situation as a manifestation of OCD and not begin the rumination that will lead me to big compulsions of washing. One of the biggest problems I deal with now is that there are some places or objects that I consider contaminated from a long time ago. So if I touch the object, I feel contaminated. I try to not go on the compulsion, but it is hard to resist. And when I resist, it is the beginning of a long rumination about washing or not. Thank you. Great question. You're describing the OCD cycle, right? And the word trap is as appropriate of a description as you will find. OCD is baiting you into the trap, right? We'll get into that more. But let's begin with this premise. The details, the content, they are not relevant. They're not relevant because they are not the problem. OCD can always change the details, can always add details. OCD can also always change themes. Right? When I was diagnosed, I had like 3 themes. After I was diagnosed, OCD added 4 or 5, right? But didn't let go of the other 3 either. So OCD can just change. We don't focus on the details or the content other than maybe saying, hey, I think that's my theme. So I'm going to attribute this to OCD. Beyond that, not relevant. We don't need to engage all of our time debating the details with OCD. The problem is OCD. That's the root. That is the problem that we aim to fix. My strategy was really simple. Identify when I suspected, even slightly, that OCD was possibly the source of a thought, and then make a decision to attribute it to the disorder. It's coming from the disorder, not me. I allowed the thoughts to be in my mind. I gave them no value. I learned to be indifferent to their presence, not focusing on the details of the content. I don't care if that OCD thought is in my mind. It didn't matter what the details were. And then I resisted giving into the compulsion at all costs, no matter what. And that was hard. Let's simplify it a little bit. When you are triggered, right, you know how it feels. You and I both know what it feels like when OCD is knocking on our door. When you're triggered, pause. Take a pause. Remind yourself that you have the disorder. There's a reason why you feel this way. There's a reason behind that thought coming into you. The best way, maybe the most efficient way that I was able to separate what was an OCD generated thought from what the compulsion would be was just simply asking myself, what does OCD want me to do? What is the response it wants? OCD wants your emotional, mental, or physical response. Does it want you to sit here and analyze this to try to be certain that it's not a problem, that you're not contaminated? Does it want you to wash over and over and over and over and over again so that you're not contaminated? What does it want? And you target that behavior and say, no, no, I am not going to engage in that compulsion. Resisting giving into that compulsion is hard. It defies all of our natural instincts for certainty or wanting to get rid of anxiety right now. But doubt and anxiety are part of the OCD puzzle. Those are OCD's weapons, so we can acknowledge their existence and let them be there. And we can resist giving into the compulsion, the very thing that OCD needs you to do. It needs you to participate. And yeah, it's hard, but we have to push through that anxiety. Ambrose Redmoon said, courage is not the absence of fear. It is a judgment that there is something more important than fear. That applies to you. Think about why you want to get better. Why is it important? You have people in your life. You have yourself. You have your future. Those reasons are more important than your immediate need or desire for relief. So I'm with you on this. It's time to stand firm. When you're at that fork in the road, think about the consequences of giving in versus the consequences of standing firm. Both are painful. Let's choose the one that has productive pain that takes you towards recovery. I hope this helps.